Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Celeste. I am a writer, DJ, and digital creative living in New York City, and I'm pleased to serve you as your moderator today. Named in honor of Madam C.J. Walker, Walker's legacy was created with a mission to cultivate an ecosystem of access designed to inspire, equip, and engage in a global network of professional and entrepreneurial women of color. You can learn more about Walker's Legacy by joining us online at walkerslegacy.com. The Cowork and Connect virtual morning chat series is aimed to learn the best practices for remote work, the importance of mentoring, staying sharp while staying in, financially planning for small businesses, and self-care routine tips during this time of quarantine and social distancing. So let's get started with today's program. Today's guest is Crystal DeVone. Combining her style, music, personality, and love for events has brought life to DJ C. DeVone. The New York native is a DJ, producer, and fashionista. Better known as DJ C. DeVone, Crystal has been highlighted by numerous life and beauty style blogs. Today, we will explore her journey to a healthier lifestyle and her brand, A Little Wellness. Please help me welcome my mentor, Crystal DeVone.
Thank you, Celeste. How are
Yeah.
you? Good morning and happy new year to everyone. What's up? This is super
What?
cool.
This is
I
cool.
this is really cool and it's so needed. Thank you, Walker's Legacy, for having me today, especially not on the turntables, but actually talking about something that I'm passionate about, and that's wellness. So thank you for having me. And you,
Yes, and thank you for
Celeste.
joining.
Oh, I love you so
Yeah,
much. I just want to hug you through it.
I know. This is a different space for us to be in for the both of us because we're normally DJing for Walker's Legacy, but now you guys actually get to hear us speak, which is really exciting. But I'm excited to get to know you more and your journey and wellness and your love for it. So tell us all today how you got started.
Yes. So I am DJ C. DeVone and New York City, born and bred. I've always kind of been in dance. Ironically, I don't tell this story enough, but when I was younger, a lot younger, like maybe teenage younger, my best friend, so I'm into psychic, so stay with me, guys. Even though I'm very spiritually grounded. Um, my best friend used to go to this psychic, and I was just about that time about to just learn how to DJ, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna be the biggest international DJ ever. And a psychic had told my friend, he was like, the girl who's with the C. And it's funny because I wasn't even C DeVone yet. I think I was gonna go by DJ Chris D. And he was like, the girl with the C, she's going to do really well, but it's not gonna be what she probably thinks it's gonna be. It's going to be something with like a fitness or something. This was
Yeah.
set like 20 years ago or something. And
Mhm.
it was just really interesting. And I think I did a post the other day about my journey was always I was DJing and I was dancing and singing, but I was always just a little, always doing a little bit more fitness. And I used to get very upset because people would call me the fitness DJ because I was doing like Soul Cycle and Peloton while all my friends were doing like high fashion and fashion week. And I'm like, why? Well, God, why am I not doing that? Am I not fashionable enough? Am I not, all the things? Am I not enough? Let's start. Let's just hit the
Yeah,
points right there. Am I not enough? Why am
that's
I not
real.
getting that? And
Hmm.
I was just being prepared for something that's so much greater than me. And my mission in life is, yes, I've been a DJ, and how I got started on my journey is really being depressed and understanding what mental illness is, and then going into
Uh-huh.
my body and PCOS and fibroids, and then the different things and ways that I can really make a difference in my life, but also other people's. I like to connect to people who are not really the purists. If you are like, I'm an advocate for veganism or something like that, I commend you. But I'm for people who just want a little wellness to go a long way on their journey to maybe becoming a vegan or becoming a yoga instructor or fitness. So even when I do during the pandemic, I was fortunate enough and crazy enough to do fitness events. And it
Yeah.
goes back to my calling of being like, I'm this fitness DJ. And God literally said to me, like, do a yoga event. And I was like, I already used to do them. They were really small. They started on my rooftop and I call it BK Rooftop Yoga. And then I said, okay, let's go in the park. And then in the park morphed to do another one. I'm like, and these are all out of pockets, non-sponsored. Literally, if you came to any event, I am cooking every piece of food. I am setting up each table. I'm hiring the instructors. There is no I and T. I'm not dotting and crossing at this event, but also like physically doing it myself. But I wanted to feed the
Mhm.
community. I wanted to feed people who, if you were a yogi, you want to come, sure. But I wanted to get people who were really just looking for a little bit, just a little bit of wellness, just to get in the sunshine and just have a little vinyasa flow. Even if you fall, that was okay because people say, oh my gosh, you're a yogi. I am not a yogi. I'm not that girl. But can I hold it down? And can I hold it down in yoga? Yes, I can. However, I'm a person who just loves and has a passion for feeling good and having a smile on my face and understanding other things in my body. So I hope that answers that's a little bit of my journey.
Nice. It's so beautiful. There's so many parts to your story, but what stuck out to me the most is how you said it stemmed a lot of like your wellness journey stems from your depression, which is really deep and raw and honest of you. So thank you for sharing that. Is that where like a little bit of wellness kind of helped you get out of that depression and find that passion for it, would you say?
Yes and no. So my journey with depression started in 2011, and it's crazy because I thought about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 2021. It's 10 years ago. It was a bad breakup. And also not knowing myself, I think breakups really teach you a lot about yourself. And especially when, 10 years ago, I'm not the person I am today, but also dissecting who you are. And at that time, it was so much insecurity that I didn't even know about because I thought I was fine. I didn't know what depression was at that time. I didn't know that Black people even went to a therapist. I didn't know that we can never afford a therapist. So
Right.
on that journey, I just had so much self doubt and I just had this vision for what I thought life was supposed to be. And it was all about checking off these boxes. So for people listen now, for everyone who's listening, like evaluate that. Sometimes it's not always about checking off the boxes. I had the guy who I thought he looked a certain way, he did this. This is what it was. We were going to live this way. We were going to have these kids. And then when it's all taken away from you, what did I have? It just was really depressing to me. But also to even go back on the journey, my sister dealt with bipolar depression, severe, like she would be pulled out on stretchers. She thought she was the Messiah. Um, and I remember seeing the downward spiral of her mental health. And I mean, it is severe, but it just was like, okay, let me be aware of that, even being in my family. Like, we need to do that as well. And then also making sure that, like, checking in with myself to make sure how I'm doing. So, with that 2011, I was like, oh, let me look a little bit deeper into that. Let me figure out what's going on because I still didn't even know until maybe years later. Now, where a little wellness came from and how I started the business was really during the pandemic. It was like, I was thinking of names and I'm just like, sometimes I just need a little bit, just a little bit, and it's like, I'm not, and I'm just like, I just want to help people a little. And I always kept saying that. And it's just like, just a little wellness. And I kept looking up and I was like, oh, wait, this name is not even taken. Like, what are the thoughts of that? But that's all I needed, and even now when I'm working with the brand and I'm thinking I'm not certified in yoga. I'm not certified in nutrition. I'm just a person who did some research to say, yeah, CMOS is really helpful. And you know what? If you need energy, just to have this in the beginning of your day, and then started learning about roots. And I go to the Whole Food store and I ask everything. What is in
Yeah.
this? How long does it take? What do you do? To the point where, like, if you find the right people, they love to answer things. Just like if I have knowledge, I love to answer um,
Mhm.
things that I incorporate into my diet because, 2020 was no, I'm going to try to be PG with my language. 2020 was no joke. You know what I mean? So I just had to really incorporate the things that were going to make me feel better. And then that's how I started doing sea mouse infusions and then doing the fitness classes and then boot camp and brunch, which was really successful. Then having other
Yeah.
Black owned wellness business come to the event. And then last but not least, the wellness boxes where I create masks by hand and I have teas and different things like that and seasonings that I just really like. I sanitize my hands first and I make them by hand.
Okay. That's a lot of
Mhm,
work if you have a lot of
mhm.
orders to make each and every one by hand. And I think I remember seeing a photo of you with like a bunch of boxes like behind you. I'm not too sure
Yes.
if that was so for you to make all of that by hand. I congratulate you, just that alone. But I think it's a
Right.
beautiful when you
Thank
want
you.
to be intentional and check in with people and just give them a little bit of wellness. And I love how you said that you first started by checking in with yourself. I think that's one thing about wellness that is talked about a lot, but a lot of people don't really know what that is or how to do that. So what is a mental health check-in? What does that look like to you?
There's two parts I want to talk about with that. So a mental health
Mhm.
check-in is basically what is the vision of things. And I just saw something the other day and it was about like I want to talk about reprogramming, but also being the architect because sometimes we don't even envision things because they're not in front of us or we don't have the money or we don't look a certain way or we don't we're not connected in that way. And sometimes, like, I thought about just even the apartment I want, and I thought about even the car, and I thought about the man, and I thought about what I want to feel mentally and physically. And we get so stuck on one way of doing things that we can have it. It just may look a different way. Maybe, for me, I'm evaluating what can I do this in New York? Like so my actually do I do a little wellness Wednesdays on my Instagram, which is due to be posted later. And my I just go by what's in my head and really this tip this week was to move. So my wellness tip is really just I like to talk to myself like I'm a best friend. When I have those moments where I'm even having anxiety or I'm feeling like overwhelmed, I'm like, all right, out of body experience. And I talk to myself like as if I was my best friend. You're not like your friend, but your best friend. The one who gives you that sound, the one who's gonna check you, the one who's gonna say, like, girl, pull it together, and they're
Yeah.
going to have some compassion because they're your friend. They're going to have compassion. They're not going to let you fail. And that's the first mental check-in. But also, if it's not working, how do we reprogram our mind? But you reprogramming it to to be our best version of ourselves, to be the best version of the vision that we want. So for instance, if there are a bunch of tangible items you want, like reprogramming to how we're going to get it, what does that look like? And just we get so stuck within I mean, we're it our mental health is almost like this closet. Like it's just like we can get so stuck in it. And it's sometimes you just really got to get outside yourself in order to be your best self. So yeah.
Mhm. That's beautiful. Yeah, I like how you say to just talk to yourself as if you were your own friend because sometimes I know me personally, I can feel a little crazy talking to myself. You start to question yourself, like, "Am I crazy?" But no, that's how you work through it and you get through it. And sometimes people aren't always available, and that's okay too. But as long as we're able to uplift ourselves, I think that's pretty awesome, if I say so myself.
Yeah.
My next question to you is so you went through this phase of like depression and doing the checklist of like having a certain guy and not having that, and then you went through this phase of like, okay, like I see this in my family, I feel depressed as well, I need to start doing mental check-ins. And then it's kind of just spiraled into you wanting to just get a little bit to those around you, which sparked a little wellness as well.
Mhm.
um
To be honest, it just was like, and I want everyone who's listening to look at the patterns of life. You know, I believe we all have angels. I believe in a higher power, and this was on my heart last night to talk to people about this. Is like we everything's connected. You know, the universe is going to work for you if you let it, but you have to be like in tune to it. You have to be in tune to your self-awareness. You have to be in tune to your spirits, that grandma that, you know, that always had your back. She's in heaven, but you still have angels around you. It was to the point where something happened to me last night that was literally it was so sad and so funny at the same time because it was a protection. And even and when I'm actually at my most vulnerable mental state, when I feel overwhelmed and I always feel so covered and protected for some reason because you have to be in tune to yourself. And you'll start realizing that something will permit you from doing something because something is protecting you naturally. You know,
yes.
that intuition is so real, and that's part of your mental health. That's part of your wellness is really understanding your intuition, you know? Your intuition really doesn't always tell you to eat like a piece of fried something. Your intuition will be like sleep, rest,
Yes. Yeah.
go to the doctor, right? It
Yes.
never says the things that's not good for you. It always tells you things that's good for you. So
Mhm.
yeah, sorry, I got off tangent,
What
but
is
yeah, listen to your
no, it's
protection.
fine.
They're important.
What is a moment in your life where you feel like listening to your intuition changed the course of your life for the better?
Two things. Three. Shoot. Okay, let's go with the first one. So I deal with PCOS. And that's polycystic ovarian syndrome, you know, fibroids, all that stuff. So that's another reason why I really wanted to, and specifically for Black women and women of color, to really go into the wellness space, because I was like, why do we only get fibroids? Like, that's weird. You know, is it the cheese? Is it that? So I'm now scientifically, I'm trying to figure out why this is happening to us, you know,
Yeah.
and that was my first intuition. Every doctor kept telling me, like, you know, oh, you're fine, you know, just get your checkup or whatever. And it took one doctor to literally be like, that looks weird. Like, I literally had like a hair in my chin, TMI. And she was like, have you always had a hair in your chin? And I'm like, I don't know. And maybe, you know, it's, you know, I'm not, I just shave it, you know. She's like, nah, let's go and get another, you know, let's go and get another opinion. And then realizing that estrogen and testosterone and all these other hormones were out of whack. And then that started the journey of really understanding, like, oh, okay, I got to take care of that part of my body. But then and then the fact that doctors will just keep, they just sometimes will not really listen to you. We're seeing that even more right now with COVID. It's like, I don't feel good, I don't, you know. And I really learned to pay attention to my body, and I don't care how crazy people think I am, or doctors will tell me, oh, you're a hypochondriac. I literally, this is one thing, and this is the most powerful thing that happened to me. And I went to go get my checkup, and the lady's like, well, you have for the gynecologist, you have PCOS already, you have blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, I want a sonogram. I want a histosonogram. She's like, well, if you already know it's there, like, why are you looking for it? It's like a car. If your car is already like broken, do you want to keep going to the mechanic? Are you freaking kidding me, woman? Like, this woman
Yeah.
said this to me to my face. And I'm like, yeah, I want to get that. And then literally sends in the portal, like, yeah, you need to get a surgery. Let me know if you want to get it December. What?
Oh my God.
And this is the thing that like is so disappointing. It's like, you I don't care. I'd rather you be oversensitive, hypersensitive to your body than to not be.
Uh-huh.
Because that's how people, realize they have cancer. We're so
Yeah.
and focused on COVID that there's other things that are still out there. They haven't cancer hasn't gone away, you know, um everything, STDs, all this stuff that we're not even thinking about. Like they still exist no matter what.
Uh-huh.
So that's why we just really got to be in tune to our bodies and our intuition. And even so, I had COVID recently, and the
I'm
fact that I
sorry.
was in tune with my body, I was
Mhm.
able to literally within like those first, they say with 3 days is when it kind of activates. And
Uh-huh.
as soon as it reared its head, I was like, mm-mm, something is wrong. I knew instantaneously when it hit that something was wrong because I am in tune with my body. I know that I can stand up and cook and not be tired. So that was the first thing.
Mhm.
I'm tired. And also my intuition knew that I was around people I didn't know that well and I didn't like their lifestyle enough. So naturally I said, okay, this I'm hiding. I don't know who I'm around. Two, I'm getting tired and I normally would not get tired from cooking. Okay.
Mhm.
3, I'm feeling fatigue. So even though COVID is highly, contagious, I was able to not spread as much as I probably could have because I was in tune with my
Right.
body, because at the end of the day, people will catch it if they are near you. Most
Mhm.
people, but you just have to be in tune to the little things in your body.
Yes, that's huge. Oh my God. First of all, I'm sorry you went through COVID and just everything with the doctors. That's insane. I also wanted to touch base on Black women and women of color and how we do struggle with sticking up for ourselves, especially in the doctor's office, and we're often seen as too much or too dramatic. Um, what is one tip you can give to kind of get past that? Because I know a lot of women, including myself, I'll hold back from saying certain things in fear of being shut down or being looked at as crazy or too much.
Absolutely. So you have to kind of research yourself what you think it is. And
Mm-hmm.
I want my doctor to tell me why they think I don't have that. And I love to I'm a huge Sagittarius, so I like to always lead with comedy, even if it's something a little serious. So I'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Doctor, am I gonna die?" Like I have to be extreme because you're not gonna take me serious. If I'm like, "Oh, I think I have, I need a hysterectomy." Like what? Like no, 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 no. I need you to understand that I may die if you don't fix this for me. I'm joking in a
Yeah.
sense but maybe I can. Like I, if I'm not getting my period, am I gonna be for all these things? Like let's have these conversations. So I do think that it's very important for us to maybe think what it is, even if it's the extreme, what my
Yeah.
likelihood of getting cancer from this, or, because everybody wants to give you Tylenol and Robitussin and let you go home, you
Right.
know. And the one thing that we really do need to understand is food really it's the only thing that can actually revert illnesses. Isn't that
Wow.
crazy?
That's
Like
insane.
it's like literally like medicine is not going to cure you. Medicine will help you get through an
Mm-hmm.
illness or ailment, but it's not going to actually like, revert things. So the diet is so important, and
Yes.
also just understanding our body, but like come to your doctor like ready, like it's a job interview almost, you're taking care of your
Yeah.
body and you're like, okay, what's this, like even to the point, especially if you have insurance that's covering things, go for everything.
Just go for the gold.
Oh, for the gold, for real, for real.
Now, you mentioned diet is one great way to cure your body. Um, so let's talk about your brand, A Little Wellness, and your CMOS. First of all, let's break down what CMOS is because I feel like in the wellness community, a lot of people don't really know what CMOS is. It's kind of like when gluten
Right,
came out, everybody was like, "What's gluten?" All right, I don't
right,
know gluten,
right, right,
but
right,
I don't
right,
know what
right.
it is. So let's touch base on that. What exactly is sea moss?
All right, so sea moss is exactly what it sounds like. It is the bottom of it is found in the ocean, mostly in the Caribbean, Jamaica,
Uh-huh.
St. Lucia, St. Vincent, um,
Mhm.
and it just has like so the body has about over 150, 100 nutrients that it needs. And sea moss has over
Uh-huh.
92 of them. So it's one of these, it's a food that has
Wow.
so many nutrients. And what I did was I started infusing them with things that we already like and to put into our diet. So something like elderberry, which is naturally for your immune system and your immune health. So of course that one sells because people are more familiar with it. But for me,
Mhm.
since I still, have a little bit of wine and have coffee and things like that, I'm always trying to like clean my blood. So I take a
Yeah.
lot of the burdock root one, which is really good for cleaning the blood. And then there's like bladderwhack, which has even more like it's what a lot of people go for the bladderwhack
Mhm.
um herb in it. And then I have moringa. I love moringa, and especially as I'm about to start my Daniel fast, moringa, if you ladies and gents are not familiar with it, it has like so much antioxidants. And honestly, if you start your day like when I fast, you're not supposed to have coffee for a bit on it. But moringa in the morning is just really nice. And it doesn't I have a sensitive stomach to like
Mhm.
teas and stuff early. Um
Uh-huh.
and it doesn't. I mean I enjoy it. Lots of nutrients, and honestly, I would say maybe I'm just being, salesy or pitchy on it, but having the sea moss in my diet every day and then getting COVID months later, I had no
Uh-huh.
congestion issues. I had no cough. Now, everyone has different symptoms, but the
Uh-huh.
friends that I know who did catch it from us being around one another, they had coughs.
Mhm.
I didn't have any cough. I didn't have any congestion. And I do believe it's from my lack of dairy and also from having the sea moss every day. I don't start my day without it. Even going to Atlanta for 5 or 6 days this week, and I didn't have it. My body was like, "Listen, no, like it was like I mean, I took out. Sometimes I just take it right off the back, and I make it from scratch, and that's so I sell it
Uh-huh.
made to order. And I'll just take a big tablespoon and just like start my day. How you start your day?
Okay.
Important.
Beautiful. What are other ways you can implement sea moss into your diet? Besides, if you don't, I mean, you're a real G if you just like take it back. But I know
Yeah,
there's
it's
some of
kinda
us out
gross.
there
It
who are
actually it actually doesn't taste that good,
yeah.
but the one that I'm actually currently, I don't sell it and I'm going to eventually, since I was dealing with COVID, I made myself a whole because one, I wanted to have a whole different batch. So I made one and it has ginger because we know ginger is like it loves to
Yeah.
fight like all the diseases ever. But it
Like
helps you and yeah, helps your immune
mhm.
system and fighting viruses, etc. So I put ginger and cinnamon helps with inflammation. So I put some ginger, burdock root, which is cleaning out the blood. So within that two
Mhm.
weeks, I was clear, which most people don't. They only a third of people that 10 to 14-day quarantine doesn't always come back negative. Because I just focused on really drinking water and clearing out the blood so I can be able to get back into society and to do work. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so did I answer your question? I'm sorry.
Different ways you can implement sea
Different ways,
moss
yeah.
into your
So
diet.
so
Yeah.
that was one that I made, but different ways. So smoothies, eating it right off the
Mhm.
back. There's pills that you can take.
Oh
Um,
wow.
Yeah, there's pills you can take. I don't have the pills. I buy it fresh. But there's people who take pills. Um,
Okay.
One thing I found that was so cool that my niece just told me is she buys my sea mosses and she makes applesauce. And I thought that
Oh,
was
that's
the
good.
coolest thing ever because
Yeah.
it's so easy to make in the morning, especially like I don't like can anything if I can help it, but not nothing against it, but like when it comes to fruit, I would rather like imagine you just get a fruit food processor or a blender and you make your
Yeah.
applesauce and you put the sea moss in it. And I mean, like it's because it can the taste can be masked very easily. So for me,
Uh-huh.
why I can have it straight off with a tablespoon is because I will just chase it with water or juice or something like that. But how I personally incorporate it is either a fresh juice or a smoothie. So on my Instagram page, I like make my favorite smoothie and I put like turmeric in it and cinnamon and all these things. So like you just feel like you are a superwoman, superman once you have that in the beginning of your day.
Oof, I'm gonna have to get one. I've been meaning to buy one, but I don't know how to use it. So
Oh,
now that I
super
know,
easy.
I
Yeah, I
will
have
implement.
videos. I think 90% of people who buy it from me say that. And I just send a video and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't see this. This is so easy." And yeah, and I know some people who actually put it in their coffee because they know that they're gonna have everything's about habit, right? So
Yeah,
for me, especially during the summer, it was like start your day with a smoothie before you work out. So it was easy to always incorporate it. And now that my days are a little bit different and I'm waking up a little bit later at times, it's still like get the fresh juice. Or if I know that I'm too lazy to make a smoothie, I'm like, just eat it. Because now it's like
yeah,
you got it, no different of you brush your teeth, wash your face, take a shower. It's a
uh-huh.
habit now. And like you do something for what they say, like 14, 21 days, like it will become a habit
Mm,
and you will actually
okay.
feel crazy or you would feel off if you don't do it.
Yeah, that's how you know your body is like it
Oh,
loves
yeah.
it.
I was literally like going around Atlanta, like, where can I get it? And I was like, I don't like the way that look. I ain't getting that one. They were charging like $3 to add it to a smoothie. I was like, wow, that's
Wow.
brave. But also I get it, but $3 for a scoop. Come on.
Hmm. It's funny, like if if you're into like making smoothies and really cooking for yourself, and then you go to these places and you see how much they charge, you're just like, I can make it myself.
Yeah,
Like,
but also as a
good.
person, right, but also as a person who juices and makes smoothies
Mhm.
daily, um, it takes so long. Like for me, like as I'm about to go
Yeah,
into
it's
this
not quick.
fast, yeah,
Hmm.
like even my girlfriend's like give one's recipes, and I'm like, that's not enough fruit for 1 cup. That's like it takes a lot of fruit and a lot of time, and so I do. I try to pay what's necessary, but I mean, if you can't get it cheaper, of course. But like, it's a lot. That's why I always
Gotta
tell
find
people like if it's in once you have it nailed down and it's in your
it.
regimen,
Hmm.
it's gonna come easy, because my best friend, she's just
Yes.
like, "I don't wanna be doing that all day," and I'm like, it's 30 minutes of your day to juice every day if you are making it from scratch. If you're making, like, a true, like, you're cleaning off the fruit or whatever, or and, like
Hmm.
but if you're prepping and you, like, have it down to a
Yeah.
science where, like, you're getting on a call or you have your, whatever happening during that 30 minutes, you will be done. But from start to
Yeah.
finish, cleaning the fruit, cleaning the actual, machine, yeah, it does take a while, but that 30 minutes is gonna go really fast when it's a habit and you're just like, "Okay, uh-huh, alright," drinking it, and
Yeah,
now
you
you
can
feel
put it in your
like,
sleep.
"Boom, I can start my day." Mhm.
Right. And once you start, I say everything is by choice. So if you want to, you will. And once you start seeing how good it is for your body, you start seeing results because whatever you put inside your body reflects on the outside, right? Your skin is
Oh,
glowing, your
absolutely.
hair. It's amazing. So once you start seeing those results, it's almost like, no, now I need this. Like I need to do this because I don't want these results to go away. I don't know if you've ever felt that
So
way with your sleeping,
true.
but
I
hmm
thought I didn't really see the results until I was flying and I looked in the mirror, it's kind of vain, but I looked in the mirror and I had ran out of foundation and I was like,
oh,
and I never really put makeup on to go on the plane, but I was like, this is COVID, whatever. Like all you have is your eye. And of
yeah.
course I didn't have any foundation. And I was looking at in the mirror and I was like, oh wow, you don't have a foundation. And my skin looked good. But also during the summer when I started using the sea mosses and it was just my life was just super stressful.
Yeah.
I was getting acne on my face because of the
Mhm.
stress and from being on the phone and all these things. So I looked and I was like, wow, you look good without that foundation because you're taking better care. You're putting more nutrients in your body, you know, and that's why I had to run back to New York. So I was like, okay, let me keep putting more nutrients in my body because I was not the Chick-fil-A's in Atlanta was
Mhm.
trying to get
Uh-huh.
me.
That's crazy. One more thing, because I don't want to forget this. I
Okay.
know there's a difference between your sea mosses and your wellness boxes. Can you touch base on your wellness boxes a little bit?
Yeah, so the wellness boxes,
Mhm.
they come with the CMOS, but they're gonna be, you know, gonna be launching some new ones, and basically it comes with the sage and Palo Santo because you gotta get the negative and positive energies together. It comes with affirmation cards. I wish I had one near me.
Beautiful.
I
Uh-huh.
love the affirmation cards. Super important. That's how I try to start my day. And I love that they're just very straightforward. Like one is like money comes easily and effortlessly to me. And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Ah," and it's funny is when I say like over and over, the universe will be
Yeah.
like, "Yes, it does." And then I'll get like a phone call, whether
It
it's like
does.
something silly or like a cash app. I'm like, "Oh, wow,"
Oh
you
my
know?
God.
Or like, yeah, and one of the other affirmations, to go back to what we said was, um, I listen to my body and I honor my body and, I listen to the signs that it gives me. And having that
Mhm.
relationship with your body is important. So it comes with a lavender satchel, so you can just like have the smell good of lavender to calm you. It comes with the sea
Uh-huh.
moss that you choose, and then I do create the mask by hand, in which I'm deciding if I want to do that because making mask is kind of a lot. So,
Right.
but I go to the fabric store and I pick out all these like really funky like African prints and
Okay.
army prints and I make the mask by hand. But I personally enjoy making the CMOS because I love being in the
Mhm.
kitchen and I love
Yeah.
looking at it and seeing the texture and the nutrients.
Mhm.
Sewing is not my biggest passion. So, um, and it just is time consuming and
Mhm.
I don't necessarily love sewing, so I'm gonna reevaluate that, but I do like creating masks because it's so fun to see people walking down the street, and I'm like, "Oh, look at that mask, that's so cool."
Yeah, it is. It is cool to see how trendy and how creative people have gotten with the mask.
Yeah,
I love it. I love I know some girls have rhinestone their
yeah,
masks, which
right.
I think is so cute. I've seen graffiti, I've seen leather masks, and those look just expensive. I don't even know, but it is
Yeah,
how creative people get. Now,
mhm,
out of all your sea mosses, I know there are some people who are listening to this and maybe they haven't bought one from you yet. They could be new customers, new clients. Um, what is maybe like your best seller, or what would you
okay.
recommend they start off with for anyone
Oh,
who's new
yeah.
starting?
I mean I'm a person that doesn't get bored, and I feel like only boring people get bored. So nothing I do is like plain. So I don't always recommend the plain one because like people say, "Oh, start with the plain." I'm like, "No, get the elderberry. You already know about it." So like get funky with it. Like start out with the elderberry. And one thing that I appreciate about how I'm selling it is I don't charge for the different infusions, and I'm making this made to order. Like, I don't have a bunch made at all. Like, I'm literally make it for you. So, started with the elderberry, and then when you start like, when people say, "Okay, this is what's going on with me," like, my girlfriend said, "I don't like elderberry. I had it. I don't like the taste of it." And I'm like, "Well, you're not gonna like the taste of sea moss probably at first either." But, you know,
Yeah.
what do you find is your ailments? Like, are you really tired, or do you wanna just lose weight? Or, you know, 'cause it does people say that it does help them with weight loss as well.
Oh
But
wow.
I tell people to start with the elderberry to start. For me, I personally just like burdock root because I know that it was the holidays and dealing with COVID and just like eating, not as healthy. And another step that I want to say that we didn't ask is like the way to really get to a little bit of wellness is by starting with um just making the small changes. So like even
Yeah.
for me when I went to the Chick-fil-A because I was in Atlanta and it was like we need something fast to eat.
Yeah.
Don't get the french fries. Just get
Right.
the meat, you know, or just like always sub something because at least those little things will make you more conscious, you know. So if you know you're gonna have
Mhm.
like a bunch of cocktails, then I'll skip the carbs or I'll skip like getting an appetizer and you'll still feel good. It's not like you're you know, you know, making yourself not have something or, punishing yourself. But it's just those little things that will start, and then my friend's like, "You're so judgy, how dare you?" Because she was like eating something like late night. And I'm like, because you have to have those boundaries for yourself. If I'm
Yeah.
already a person that naturally wants to eat it all, I need a little thing. I need to just have that little bit of things in my life in order to
Uh-huh.
see the real change, and it does
Yeah.
start with, like, holiday dinners. Okay,
Yeah.
cut out, or like, for me, with the holidays, when I was around my family eventually, um I made sure that I ate really healthy today. I got, like, all my juices in, or, all my vitamins in before I had that huge, holiday dinner, or I had one big plate and I didn't have that second one. It's like just making those conscious decisions because
Mhm.
we're so tired. We have to have so much compassion for ourselves at this time, and it's a lot, like, we dealt with a lot, and we're just so thankful for another year. But honestly,
Yes.
like, it's like we wanna have that food. We wanna, like, drink that glass of champagne, but
Mhm.
it's just making the little alterations because we need to take care of ourselves.
Yeah. I love that. In a strange way, it's almost like still honoring your body and not being so harsh about everything you do. Just portion it out. Just space everything out, and you should be fine. One
Right,
thing I
unless you're
wanna,
truly disciplined. Truly disciplined, good for you.
yeah, every day. It is. It's not the easiest thing to do. It definitely is hard work, and it takes time to perfect it. But I think it is a way of showing ourselves a little bit of compassion, especially after being through such a hard year. And COVID is technically not over, so we're still kind of going through the motions. And just really being intentional with ourselves, I think, is really important. I wanted to ask you as well, like, what your brand is called A Little Wellness. You encourage everyone to implement just a little bit of wellness. How are you implementing a little wellness into your life this year?
Well, good question. Right now I go into a fast. Every year I actually go into a Daniel fast. If
Oh,
anyone
nice.
is familiar with it, it is, from the Bible. And basically, it's not fasting and not eating, but it's taking out a lot of things that we have addictive behavior towards. But it also helped with mental clarity and the relationship with the higher power. So,
Mhm.
it's something that I do. It's very hard for me personally because I'm just not a naturally disciplined person. I'm a person who needs to have real structure in my life because I am a bit of a creative that loves to be all over the place. But, um, so it's no coffee, no dairy, nothing processed, no meat, no bread, etc. And it sounds really hard. It's just 3 weeks. The challenge of it is the coffee for me because but it's also like seeing how your body reacts to things is really scary.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that process is the thing that, like, really, really is important. So that's more of a lot of wellness, but it also helps me really make sound decisions because in the beginning of the year, what do? We want dynamic, drastic change. We want to drop 20 pounds. We want to find a husband. We want to get out of debt. We want to get a new job and we want to do all these things and we want it right now. But that could be what I want and what I need. However, have I really sat with that? Have I really had the mental clarity to understand or to even provide the steps to get to that level? If I wanna move, am I just ready? I just wanna move and I wanna get an apartment. Have I thought about what I need to save or do I need to go a month here before I move? And I think when you have that mental clarity by, having a fast like that, it really helps. Some
mhm.
people go into, stronger fast where they don't have any, like, food or water. I'm not that person yet, but
Wow.
for me, this is more of I'm gonna be healthier, I'm gonna be stronger, I'm gonna really 2020 has taught us to learn our own strength, so I'm like, "Oh, if I can get through 2020, I can get through this fast, I can get through a little coffee
Yes.
withdrawal," which is very
Yes. Say it
painful.
again.
But right, so that's my first step, and of course I'm going to definitely be having my sea mosses and working on different products with the wellness, and I have some teas that I'm going to be definitely launching, and just other things just to promote that positive effective wellness advocacy, whether it's things that say heal, things that say whole. Like, I really want to promote that, so that's what's to come with the brand. And then just for me, it's just really um just staying true to really helping people be the best versions of them. You don't have to be like, I'm not a purist. I don't believe that I have many different things from time to time that are not considered healthy, but I want to make sure that we together can just be on a journey to a healthier life.
I love that. I love that. I know you have a podcast, Music Men and Mental,
Right.
and that is also surrounding wellness as well. Do you plan on launching a new season soon?
Yes, 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 yes. It's so much work, and with the boxes, it takes me a lot because right now I'm working with the Tupac Foundation to,
Uh-huh.
and create curating their wellness box. So I have the playlist attached to it. I have, um, I'm hand making the sage and with the smudge sticks and things like that. So it's a lot. It's so cool. I actually have there's like custom like adult coloring books over here. It's so
Oh, I
cool.
love it.
Yeah, which is really good for you, really therapeutic. So yes, I am coming back, and the great thing this time around, and I appreciate the fact that I took a little tiny break for a few months, and definitely it's on all streaming platforms, is that I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna really focus on the wellness. I think that's really what it is. I think that's my mission, is to incorporate this brand into what I'm doing. And it will be coming back, and it's going to be more tips and tools for the person who just wants a little bit, just so they can maybe be on the journey, jumpstart the journey, or just incorporate it into their lives, whether it's through therapy, whether it's through finding a workout partner, or whether it's through healing through a relationship, or realizing that your friendships are, a little tarnished. How can you repair those things? Because they all well, deal with your health, you know?
Yes, yes, so true.
Thank
Well, we
you.
are reaching the end. This has been an amazing conversation. I want to know if there's anything I missed that maybe you would like to add about your brand or just projects you're working on.
Not really. I can be found at DJC DeVone, at DJCDEVIA. That's my name right there. Um, on the screen, on Instagram, and my Etsy store is in my bio. I'll be launching a bunch of things. My Wellness Wednesdays, a little Wellness Wednesdays, will come out today. And I just look forward to more wellness events. Definitely New York, Atlanta, DC. I'll be doing some more wellness pop-ups, boot camp and brunch, yoga in the park. I'm super excited about them. I'm so even though they are so much work, but when I see how people feel, especially like people who haven't been out their house for months to come, and the fact that I had 100% safety record at each event is like just shows that like we take things seriously, and also like that safe space for people just to get grounded, whether it's just being in the sun, or like really getting a thorough workout, or just feeling like that community. Because I know for me, when I talk to my friends, when I talk to, or if I'm in a relationship, a good healthy relationship, like it's just comforting, you know?
Yeah.
So I try to provide that for people. And with the podcast, like I mentioned, I'll be focusing more on wellness, which is normally career, relationships, and overall health, but
Uh-huh.
really focusing on the holistic wellness portion. I'm still gonna be DJing. And yeah, that is me, and creating and creating and creating and having to create right after
Nice.
this.
So where can people purchase a little wellness if they would like to
Yeah,
find a
it's on
little
my
wellness?
Etsy store. So a little wellness is on Etsy. Like I said, the link is in my Instagram bio if people want to purchase the box or things like that. The teas, and I am making my immune system tea with the elderberry and all types of, ginger, and it's pretty delicious, I must say. And I actually have one for insomnia with lavender chamomile. It's my favorite because that's a big thing with COVID is having insomnia, but also just during the height of quarantine, people had insomnia. So I just basically went with things that I thought that people needed,
Mhm.
versus like what I think, is needed.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Perfect,
and
perfect. So
thank you,
thank you so
Celeste. I,
much for
I
taking the time
appreciate
to
you.
chat with us.
Yeah,
We appreciate having you on. Yes, please go follow DJ C DeVone at, I think it's Crystal DeVone or is C DeVone, your
at
Instagram.
DJ C DeVone. Yeah, so at DJ
DJ
C
C
DeVone.
DeVone.
Thank you,
At DJ C
Celeste.
DeVone.
And thank you, Walker's.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
that's
thank you,
all.
Walker's Legacy, for having me. This is a great, great platform, and that we are, connecting with people. And I hope that I gave you a little insight to start your wellness journey. And just like I said, just starting with a little can go a long way, just the littlest little things throughout your day. And then you add on from there, and then you start learning from there. Hmm.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your wise words today. And yes,
Thank
everyone,
you.
please implement just a little wellness because it'll definitely help you go a long way. Walker's Legacy will be having these chats every Wednesday at 10:30 Eastern Time. So make sure you tune in. And you can always follow me at She is Celeste on Instagram, TikTok, and Celeste Polanco on LinkedIn. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much and bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.